My dear students, we have already discussed the definition of democracy and its minimal features of democracy. When we study about minimal features of democracy, now we are able to distinguish between a democratic government and a non-democratic government. But there is some other things are there related to the philosophy of democracy. Let's see broader meaning of democracy. We know that the most common form that democracy takes in our times is that of representative democracy. You have also studied about this one, representative democracy. Actually, all the people are not ruling directly. The majority rule by elected representatives is called representative democracy. The majority of the people rule through their elected representatives. That is called a representative democracy. Why it is representative democracy in most of the countries? What's the problem in the modern times? The reasons is that modern democracies, we know that, involve such a large number of population. Take the case of India. We are the second largest populated country in the world. Can we sit together and take a decision? It is not at all possible. That is, modern democracies involve such a large number of people. That is, it is physically impossible for them to sit together and take a collective decisions. Okay, if you are large, we cannot sit in together. But you think of a situation, if we can sit, then what about all the people are not having that much time? And even though they have time, they may not be willing to participate. Their desire may be different. And if they have desire, there may not problem of skill arises. If you don't have a skill in participating in decisions, in thinking about the possible outcomes of a particular issue, you won't participate in decision making. Therefore, it is difficult. Then the next one, even if they could, the citizen does not have the time, the desire or the skills to take part in all the decisions. Then we want which one? We have to go for representative democracy. Then why representative democracy? Because of the largest population, and also time is at another problem, desire at another problem, and also skill is at another problem. The clarity helps us distinguish democracies from non-democracies. Now we got a clarity. We understood the meaning of democracy, its functions, and also representative democracy. Then now we can distinguish democracies from non-democracies. But it does not allow us to distinguish between a democracy and a good democracy. You can distinguish between democracies and non-democracies based on the functions we studied. But you cannot distinguish between good democracy and democracy. Now we are going to see what is good democracy. Good democracy versus democracy. Okay. Sometimes we use democracy for organizations other than government. Okay. We use sometimes other than government to organizations. Here are some statements. We are a very democratic family. Family is also an organization. We are a very democratic family. Whenever a decision has to be taken, we sit together and arrive at a consensus. My opinion matters as much as my father's. You got it? We are very democratic family. A family is democratic. Why? They take any decisions sitting together and arriving at all of them, arriving at a consensus by all. Then even a small boy, his opinion is valuable as much as his father's. You can also think about your own family and also the decision making processes. Next one, I don't like teachers who do not allow students to speak and ask questions in the class. I would like to have teachers with a democratic temperament. You also like teachers with a democratic temperament. What is democratic temperament? Teacher should give value to each student, their opinions. Teacher has to consult with. Any doubt they try to arise, they should be given chances. That is a democratic classroom. We can also develop a democratic classroom, not only family. Then one leader and his family members decide everything. Okay, one leader in an organization, that leader and the family members decide everything. How can they talk of democracy? They cannot talk of democracy. This is very important in all our decision making process. A democratic decision involves consultation with and consensus of all those who are affected by that decision. Those who are not powerful have the same say in taking the decision as those who are powerful. This can apply to a government or a family or any other organization. Here, powerful and powerless are same in their opinion. They have the same say. We have to consider others. Considering others is very important value in democracy. You have to consult with others. That is very important thing. This idea, this value, we can apply it to a government or a family or any other organization. Thus, democracy is also a principle that can be applied to any sphere of life. Democracy is a principle. We can apply to any sphere of life. Okay. Sometimes we use the word democracy not to describe any existing government, but to set up an ideal standard that all democracies must aim to become. Okay, another very important point, an ideal standard. Democracy is a kind of an ideal standard that all democracies must aim to become. All democracies must aim to become which one? An ideal standard of democracy. Democracy is an ideal, it's a model. We have to achieve democracy. All the countries must achieve democracy. How can we say true democracy will come to this country only when no one goes to hungry to bed. No one goes hungry to bed. There is no poverty. Everybody gets everything. That is a democratic value, an ideal value. In a democracy, every citizen must be able to play equal role in decision making. For this, you don't need just an equal right to vote. Every citizen needs to have an equal information, basic education, equal resources, and a lot of commitment. A lot of commitment is also needed. We are thinking that, or we pointed out that it is a method of decision making equally. How can I make a decision if I am very poor? I am not getting proper education and my health condition is very weak. How can I take decisions? If I am not getting any informations, how can I participate in decision? And it is very important. In a democracy, every citizen must be able to play equal role in decision making. For this, what is to be done? You don't need just an equal right to vote. Not only equal right in voting is needed, but also what we need, every citizen needs to have equal information, basic education, equal resources, a lot of commitment. This is a very important ideal. Any democracy can wish for this or aim for this one, this ideal. Everyone in the country are coming to an equal with information, with education, with other facilities. You think of a situation of democracy. It's an ideal democracy. If we take these ideals seriously, then no country in the world is a democracy. When we take these ideals in decision making and also giving opportunity, equal right, we cannot call any country as a democratic one. Yet, an understanding of democracy as an ideal reminds us why we value democracy. Why you give value to democracy? Because its ideals. Its ideals reminds us why we value democracy. It enables what? It enables to judge an existing democracy and identify its weakness. We can also judge our democracy, Indian democracy, with a good democracy, ideal democracy. You got it. We can also compare, we can also analyze a democracy with an ideal democracy, whether it has achieved that or not. It helps us to distinguish between a minimal democracy and a good democracy. That's very important. A minimal democracy, we can compare minimal democracy with a good democracy. The most common form of democracy in today's world is ruled through people's elected representatives, you have already said. But if the community is small, there can be other ways of taking democratic decisions. All the people can sit together and take democratic decisions. All the people can sit together and take decisions directly. This is how you have seen that Gram Sabha should work in a village. Gram Sabha is a democratic center. You have to observe your Gram Sabha, how it works. You can also compare Gram Sabha with our ideal democracy, our good democracy. Then democracy depends on an active political participation by all the citizens. Democracy depends active participation of all the citizens. What about the monarchy? What about the dictatorship? They don't want the work of citizens. Better they don't participate in political actions or political decisions. But in democracy, what is that? All the citizens must participate in democracy. Then only we can achieve these ideals of democracy. Not a ruler can do this. The people of that country also have to participate in democratic decisions. Then only we can achieve ideals democracy in our country. This is all about ideal democracy. Just we see some basic important questions. Some important questions. It's very simple questions. You have studied well about democracy. Give meaning to democracy and examine its features. Then, democracy faces the threat of dictatorship. Explain the statement with suitable examples. Okay. What are the arguments for and against democracy? The last one, what do you understand by broader meaning of democracy? This is all about what is democracy and why democracy. Thank you very much.